So of all the places in Ireland, why did I choose Reenascreena as the setting for the famine in County Cork? Well, there's two main reasons for Cork and one major reason for Reenascreena. And honestly, the most important one has a deep personal meaning for me. But first, Cork was a major hub for immigration or emigration during the Great Irish Famine. This is where countless men, women, and children boarded those coffin ships, those horrible journeys across the waters, leaving everything behind for a chance at survival. But my personal connection to Cork runs even deeper. So my grandmother, Ayla, she passed away in October, and I've dedicated the book to her as well, was a Murphy, right? And her family was from Cork itself, going back generations. Now, when I first told her I was writing this book, she would sit for hours with me, tell me stories about her family's past there and just how they grew up and everything, and back in the famine days with their ancestry and stuff like that. So when it came time to decide where my characters would come from, I knew it had to be Cork. I mean, for me, it just felt right. And there's a lot of personal connections within this book, and I think that was one of the most important ones for me in the beginning. But the most important reason for setting the book in Reenascreena itself was actually a guy called Jeremiah O'Donovan Rossa. Now, he's a gentleman I will be talking a lot about over the coming weeks. He was born in Reenascreena. Rossa became one of Ireland's most radical nationalists. So he was a leader in the Famine movement and a symbol of the fight for Irish independence. So his fire, determination, and willingness to take extreme action inspired one of my key characters, which is Seamus O'Donoghue, right? So Seamus' character actually embodies Ross's fight, his belief for direct action and the extremities of rebellion against British rule, contrary to some of his other siblings, okay? And some of the most significant events you will read about with Seamus in the book have been interwoven with the real events from Ross's life himself. Even in the very beginning, Rossa even became a shopkeeper, where in 1856 he established the Phoenix National and Literary Society. Now, the aim of that society was the liberation of Ireland by force of arms, right? So an early parallel with Seamus taking over his Uncle Michael's shop, which you read about, when he was killed by the British. But there's also quite an interesting extra and fascinating reason why I love this place in the book. Reenascreena is actually home to an ancient stone circle, one that has stood for over 3,000 years. Now, these circles date back to the Bronze Age, where they believed to have ceremonial or astronomical significance. Maybe they were places of worship, maybe sites for gatherings. Either way, they connect us to a deep, ancient Irish past. To think that the centuries before the famine, before the Fenian rebels, before the British landlords, this land was already sacred to the Irish people. It makes Reenascreena feel even more powerful as the setting for the famine. So that's why the famine starts in Reenascreena, in Cork. It's a mix of history, family, and the legacy of revolution. And honestly, my grandmother was super chuffed when I said I was going to base the book from where her family started. And I feel truly blessed to be able to use some of her history to tell my story. So there you go. Follow for more behind the scenes history of the famine and the real people who inspired it.